airplane delay when we come back.
They're young.
Dog who will probably keep all four paws on the ground from now on after almost freezing to death in the cargo hold of a commercial plane. And, fortunately, that story does have a happy ending. We'll tell you about that coming up. But we begin with the big story at 38 minutes after the hour. Now back to Greg.
And Chris, now the story we've been telling folks about a dog. It's a heartwarming story. A United Airlines flight had to make an emergency landing in Denver this weekend when passenger baggage handlers realized that a passenger's beloved dog was mistakenly loaded into an unheated cargo hold. Now, luckily, the mistake was caught in time. The dog was found shivering, but okay. And this morning, we caught up with Dakota and his best buddy, Mike Bell, in their San Jose, California home. And I asked Mike what happened.
He tapped me on the shoulder and said that the pilot needed to talk to me about my dog. So I was like, you know, what's going on? Because the dog's on the plane, so I couldn't imagine anything else that could be happening. So I walked up to the front of the plane, and the pilot came out from the cockpit, and he had informed me that he got a radio dispatch indicating they had loaded the dog on the wrong part of the plane. The part where he was at was with the baggage, and the area wasn't heated. We were like at 31,000 feet, so it was extremely cold where we were at. He didn't know if the dog was alive or not at the time. If we had continued to San Jose, the dog would not have made it. So he decided to go ahead and divert the plane to Denver to be able to check on the status of the dog.
So then the plane lands, and you and the pilot get out of the plane, and what happens next?
Well, before we got off the plane, the ground crew at United at Denver were there waiting on us, and they had immediately taken the dog out of the cargo hold, and the pilot had told me that they gave him a thumbs up to indicate the dog was alive. So before I departed the plane, I knew that my dog was well, he was alive. I didn't know what his condition was.
Well, what was his condition? How was Dakota?
He was fine. He was shaking. He was cold when I had picked him up from the temperature, the extreme temperature. But as soon as I got him in my arms, I knew he was okay.
Now, I understand the pilot then sort of broke the rules and allowed Dakota to get back on the plane, only this time not in the cargo hold, but up next to you in the passenger compartment.
Oh, yeah, I was very grateful that he let me do that, because I was really concerned about the dog, especially putting him back on the plane again. He was, you know, stressed out and everything, so I asked him. He said, yeah, go ahead and bring him on the plane. Picked him up, carried him on the plane. To my surprise, when I got on the plane, the passengers started clapping and cheering that he was okay.
When they were first told, though, those passengers that, hey, this plane, we're going to divert now to Denver. This is an unscheduled stop because of a dog in the cargo hold. I mean, what was their reaction? Were some of them a little upset over that?
No, I was surprised. You hear these horror stories you read in the paper. You know, passengers start going off on the flight attendants, becoming jerks. But these people were really great. It was, from my understanding, there was no complaints. They were really calm. They asked them questions, wanted to know what's going on, but they were concerned about the animal as well as the pilot. So I'm extremely grateful. Great.
And how's Dakota today? Looks great.
He's fine. It's past. It's still his bedtime, but he's hanging in there.
That was Mike Bell and his dog Dakota, who's a little jet-lagged, as you could tell through that interview. By the way, when all was said and done, the plane was only about a half an hour late. The pilot made up for time. The passengers were given free drinks, and they were shown a second movie. And guess what that movie was? My Dog, Skip. Coming up next, another Confederate flag controversy.